Everyone thinks sports betting is about picking winners, and that's the biggest lie sportsbooks ever told. They want you to think, who's gonna win tonight? What's the lock? Who's the sharpest handicapper that I can tail? Because the second you think sports betting is about predictions, you completely ignore the thing that actually determines winners long term, the number. And today, I'm gonna show you why sportsbooks push parlays so aggressively, why most expert picks are useless, how sportsbooks quietly charge you a hidden fee, and how sharp bettors actually approach sports betting completely different than the average person. Let's think about how sportsbooks advertise. It's always same game parlay boosts, turn $10 into $1,000, lock of the night, and hammer this bet. Everything is designed around emotion, excitement, entertainment, big payouts. And look, parlays are fun. I'm not saying they're not, but sportsbooks love recreational bettors because recreational bettors do not think about value. They think about outcomes, and there's a massive difference. Casual bettors ask, will this win? Sharp bettors ask, are these odds profitable? And that right there is the entire game of sports betting. Now, there's a reason that sportsbooks shove parlays down your throat every 5 seconds. And that's because parlays are insanely profitable for the sportsbook. Most people build their parlays based on vibes, this feels due, narratives, and random player props. And every extra leg adds more margin for the sportsbook. That's why you'll see sportsbooks boost parlays constantly, advertise huge payouts, and send non-stop parlay notifications. Because they want you to chase the lottery ticket. Now here's the important part. Parlays themselves are not automatically bad. This is where people get confused. If you're combining bad bets together, then yes, parlays are absolutely awful. But if you're actually finding value, that changes your parlay equation entirely. Another huge lie in the gambling industry that sportsbooks benefit from is the thought that there are guaranteed locks. Nobody knows what's going to happen in sports consistently enough to just print money off of predictions. Sports are chaotic, and the problem is people confuse short-term results with a long-term edge. Someone can go 8-2 this week, promote it on Twitter, and still be a long-term losing bettor. What actually matters is, are you getting good, consistent numbers? That's it. You could literally predict games worse than someone else, but still profit more because you're getting value in your bets. Pricing is one of the most important factors to sharp sports bettors, and that's why the odds that you get are so important. Now let's talk about the hidden fee that sportsbooks bake into everything. The VIG, the juice, the sportsbook margin. This is what kills most sports bettors. Most people think if they hit 50% of their bets, they break even. And that's false because sportsbooks are charging a hidden fee in every bet you take. That's why most spread bets are minus 110 instead of plus 100. The minus 110 gives Vegas 10 cents of juice that they can profit off of. And a tiny difference in the odds can add up massively over time. This is why line shopping matters so much. Because if one sportsbook has something at minus 110 odds and another at minus 125, that difference alone can completely change your long-term profit over time. And this is exactly where sharp bettors operate differently. Now here we are pulling up the sports betting software OddsJam, and what I love about OddsJam is that it doesn't try to predict winners for you, it simply shows you where inefficiencies are in the market. So right now, I'm over on their sportsbook screen where we can see all the odds displayed in MLB money lines today. And what you'll notice is that a ton of sportsbooks are going to set their lines differently. Sportsbooks all set their lines independently, and that creates a ton of variance in the market and a lot of opportunity for sharp bettors to capitalize. So we can quickly look at this Angels-Guardians game, the first game of the day, and we can see here best odds are on no vig at minus 129 when average odds are minus 137.5. And you can go down the list and see that almost no two sportsbooks have the exact same price. Pinnacle minus 134, Bookmaker minus 138, Kalshi minus 143, Novig minus 129, and then you have your recreational books like FanDuel minus 136, MGM and Caesars both sit at minus 140, but DraftKings is at minus 143. As you can see, all these books are setting their odds differently, and in that example, we only had 2 books, MGM and Caesars, who share the same exact odds on the same exact game. Now, the tools over at OddsJam are going to show you which books offer different odds, who has the best odds, and therefore who has the most profitable odds for you to take. Pricing is what sharp bettors care about. Casual bettors want to know who's going to win between the Angels and the Guardians, who has the best prediction on this game. Sharp bettors are going to look at the price and see what makes the most sense from a mathematical profitable angle. Now, one of my favorite strategies and one of the most profitable sports betting strategy is called positive EV. And this is what really encompasses what getting a good price means. Now, I have DraftKings set as my sportsbook filter, and we can see here OddsJam is going to tell us exactly where profitable bets on DraftKings are. So we can see this first play popping up, Seti Osman over 4.5 rebounds is at plus 139 odds on DraftKings. We can also see over on the left here, it has a 5.35% of expected value. Now, all that means is that this bet is 5.35% better on DraftKings for a payout compared to its true probability that's set by market consensus. Now, we can click into this play and see exactly why. We can see here, DraftKings offers this at plus 139 when average odds of this prop are at plus 116. So we are getting more than 15 cents of value by taking this play on DraftKings instead of on another sportsbook, and that gives us a 5.35% edge long-term if we were to take props like this over and over and over again. Now, another great example of play I took earlier today, Ao Dosamino, under 16.5 points plus assists, EV percentage of 3.61%, and when we click into it, we can see DraftKings sitting here at minus 119, when FanDuel, perhaps the sharpest player prop book in the world, has this play at minus 152. That is a massive difference from a soft sports book, DraftKings, to a sharp player prop book in FanDuel. And that would mean that if we take this play on DraftKings, you can see we are getting a significantly better price than if I were to take this play on FanDuel. Now, I'm not doing research on whether I think Ao Dosamino will go over or under 16.5 points plus assists. All I'm doing is finding value in the market, which in this instance is wildly on DraftKings at minus 119 compared to FanDuel at minus 152. And understanding expected value is one of the biggest breakthroughs you can make as a sports bettor. Casual sports bettors look at a prop and think, is this going to hit? How can I make a prediction if this player or if this team is going to win a game, go over or under their points prop? Sharp sports bettors look to find value in the market and capitalize when a sportsbook is lagging with their odds and offering you a better price than what market consensus says this prop should be at. To put it simple, sharp bettors are not trying to predict sports. They're trying to identify market inefficiencies. And sharp bettors think more like investors than gamblers. Sharp bettors understand probability, pricing, expected value, line movement, and factors that actually indicate whether the market thinks something is going to happen or not. Once you realize the game of sports betting is all about value, sports betting will start to make way more sense. So stop caring about hot streaks, locks, and emotional betting, and start focusing on value, the process, and what type of edge you're actually getting on each individual bet. That's why sharp bettors can lose a bet and still think it was a good, profitable bet. And that's because they know the number they got that bet at, the price they paid for that bet, was valuable long term. So what's the biggest lie that sportsbooks ever told sports bettors? It's that sports betting is about picking winners. I hope in this video you now understand that that is completely untrue. Sports betting is about getting the best possible price, finding value, and consistently beating bad numbers. And sportsbooks are perfectly fine with most people never realizing that, because recreational bettors are insanely profitable for the sportsbooks. And once you understand this, you'll stop betting emotionally and start approaching sports betting as a long-term strategy instead of a lottery ticket. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and follow the page. And of course, if you guys want to get on OddsJam, the software that sharp bettors are using, you can use promo code TAKES for a free week trial and 35% off your first month. And make sure to start incorporating these lessons in this video into your everyday strategies as a sports bettor. Because once you understand how the market actually works, you'll start seeing sports betting completely different, and you'll start seeing yourself make more profit than ever before.